All right, calling to order Swarthmore Borough Council's legislative session of Monday, March 12th, 2018. Do a quick roll call here. I see all members of council are present. Mayor Tim Carney will be joining us later. Borough Manager Jane Billings and Borough Solicitor Bob Scott are here as well. Welcome, everybody. Is there any public comment? There being none, I call the public comment period to a close, and we move on to my part of the agenda. First thing is consideration of council meeting minutes of February 12th and March 5th.
Which one? Can you try everybody? Oh, sorry.
February 12th and March 5th. There are a couple of typos I found in both of them. I guess
It's not my best week.
Well, one of them is February 12th. It's very last line of your introduction there. And Mr. Robert Scott, Borough Solicitor, were also present. It's kind of the same wording you had in the March 5th
I have a copy.
Yeah, I'll show it to you later. And the other is, again, the typo in the March 5th minutes under Public Works, Parks and Recreation, second line from the last paragraph. And you're thanking Representative Leanne Kruger, Ramsey, and Senator Tom McGarrigle for providing letters of support. Yeah, so.
That was under program.
Yeah. Yep. Those are the only things that changes I had.
And Larson is S-E-N.
S-E-N. Isn't that always the case?
It is. In fact, in this very report, time was not a good week. It's spelled both ways. Just FYI.
Okay. Well,
and did everyone see the amended minutes? Because I forgot actually some of Ross's entire.
yes, but that whole paragraph that highlighted, so it's easy to see. All right. So, can we have a motion to approve the minutes of February 12th, 2018 as amended?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion carries. Okay. Same thing for the minutes of March 5th, 2018. Can I have a motion to approve as amended? Second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion carries. All right. One other thing on my agenda is Betsy Larson, and that's with an E, L-A-R-S-E-N, was kind enough to draft a letter to the Board of Directors of the Wallingford-Swarthmore School District, and this is in connection with the issue that, or the happening that that Betsy brought up at our last meeting, namely the resolution against arming educators that the Swarthmore School Board passed, and also some educational assemblies and school safety, and some other actions that are being taken by the schools in response to the school shooting in Stoneman High School in Parkland, Florida. So Betsy was kind enough to draft a letter for my signature, but this letter would be on behalf of council. And it's a letter to the Board of Directors basically expressing council's support for all of this. If it's okay with everyone, I'll just go ahead and read it.
Sure.
And dear Wallingford-Swarthmore School Board, Board of Directors, Swarthmore Borough Council would like to express its support for the resolution against arming educators passed by the Wallingford-Swarthmore Board of School Directors on February 26, 2018, in response to the recent school shooting in Parkland, Florida. We applaud your focus on safety and security improvements and on efforts to address the mental health needs of our young people. We understand that Strathaven High School will be offering educational assemblies on school safety to students, and that both high school and middle school students will be allowed to recognize and remember the shooting victims of Stoneman Douglas High School by walking out of class on March 14th, 2018. We support these actions and your decision allowing the students to participate responsibly without repercussions. Very truly yours, me, President, Swarthmore Borough Council. Does that sound All right, everyone?
Yes.
Any comments or further suggestions? All right, I'll just go ahead then and send this letter.
I think, did I print it, or did you print it? You were gonna send it yourself?
I printed it.
Wow,
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I'll sign it.
okay. Give it to the boss.
I just printed a copy for myself so I could read it tonight. All right, thanks. That's all I have. Environment, Lauren?
Sure. I move that council approves amending the borough's EAC ordinance 1083. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? We've talked about it
We have talked
a few times, so. All right, so let's have a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carries.
Okay, great, thank you. And also, we are meeting on the 15th. The Environment Committee is meeting on the 15th. And we are going to discuss some things that the Open Space Committee of the EAC is talking about. I'll let you know more about that after the meeting. And then there's been a lot of talk amongst like EAC people and college people about trying to have one of the sustainability fellows at the college like work with like the town center to help reduce waste in some way. And it's one of these things where someone just has to get it organized and try to make it happen. So I think that we're going to talk about that on Thursday as well, and try to see how that initiative could be organized, or get an intern or something from the college, because I think there's a lot of ideas over there at the college that can be applied to the town center, and if there's someone, some merchants who are willing to do some waste reduction or something. So that's something that we're going to be talking about too on Thursday. And just a reminder that tomorrow is the water event at 7 o'clock. It's not a water slide, it's a discussion about drinking water at 7 o'clock. I think it's in a community room right here in Borough Hall. That'll be really useful. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Finance, Mike?
Yes, going to go the usual things for this meeting. First of all, the revenues and expenditures for the first, really through the month of February. Really nothing to highlight here. Obviously, it's early in the year, so the numbers, a few $1,000s here and there can move the numbers quite a bit, but I think basically it's, in terms of revenues and expenditures, running as expected. The cash balance in the general fund as of February 28th was $240,831. I would just add a couple things to that. One, this typically is the lowest point of the year in terms of cash, in the sense that people pay their property taxes at the end of this month. And then secondly, as we discussed in previous meetings, we did move $600,000 to the operating reserve fund, so that's not showing up here, just to be aware. So that number will, even though it's $240,000, will start building up over the next several months. Any questions as it relates to the February financial report? Okay. Moving on to wire transactions and transactions to ratify. I'd like to make a motion to approve wire transactions totaling $2,537.76 and a transaction to ratify as it relates to the police car payment of $15,263.45.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, let's have a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion carries.
And then finally to the bills through the month of February, or actually through March 7th, technically. I'd like to make a motion to approve bills to pay of $136,680.27.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion carries.
And Finance Committee will not be meeting this month, and that's all.
Thank you, Mike. General Government, Sarah.
We will be meeting on next Monday in this room on March 19th at 7:30. We'll mostly focus, I think, on the communication strategies for the borough in terms of just in general, but also during emergencies. And we'll also be addressing the parking meter change and the specifics that go along with that.
Great, thank you, Sarah. Planning and zoning, Betsy.
We'll be meeting here at 7:30 on the 22nd. I have yet to hear whether we will be addressing the zoning issue at 207 Riverdale. Other than that, I think that I hope to have something to report from the Planning Commission meeting from Wednesday night.
So the Planning Commission is meeting this Wednesday night?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Betsy. Public safety, Mary?
Thank you, David. We will be meeting next Tuesday, the 20th, at 7:30 p.m. here, and we will also be talking about ways to notify the public in the event of an emergency, maybe focusing more from a police and fire standpoint. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Public Works, Parks and Recreation, Ross?
Okay, so we wanted to talk about the proposed new intelligent pavement system. I think I mentioned at the last meeting that the borough engineers came in and presented this. I think some materials went around about it. It's a better system than what we've been using. It's fact-based. So I don't know that Jane, we need a motion or anything. I don't know. What do you
Maybe something in the minutes that people knew we were gonna do it, would be fine. Yeah, I would agree.
I don't quite understand what the proposal is.
It's to,
It's to use their system. It's to pay Panoni to use their system.
I think it's a $5,000 expenditure?
And they need to send a contract, right?
Is that an annual fee, or is that?
yeah, it's a one-time fee, and it'll do a long-range plan. We don't know if there's a contract or not.
But they'll send a piece of paper.
Actually, I have a meeting with them about something else tomorrow, yeah, I would assume we.
Well, if there's a contract, just have it ratified with the next
Okay,
council.
yeah, I don't think they're gonna require a contract, we'll have to look and see if you're comfortable with that.
But if anybody wants a motion, I'll make a motion.
Is it a budgeted item?
Well, we have quite a bit of, under the engineering line, yeah,
That's fine. I don't think we're doing anything on that.
right. I'll just put it in the minutes that we're gonna go ahead and do it.
And if anybody's any questions about it now, if you want to know more about it,
Right in the car, with the camera.
yes. Okay, so that was the one item. We are going to meet on March 22nd at 8:30 in the morning. And as announced before, we're continuing discussions of the proposed sewer lateral ordinance. It's actually not a proposed ordinance because we don't have an ordinance that we're looking at. It's the way you do it. And we have other municipalities' ordinances that we've looked at. And again, the borough engineer will be present, Dave Grady, the assistant manager from Nether Providence, Catherine Ricardo, the manager from Edgemont Township, and John Galligan, president of the Plumbing Association, and the pipe chart. So that's our agenda, and we'll keep moving forward on that. At some point, we'll get to the point where we decide if we want to do something and come with a recommendation.
Great. Thank you, Ross. Mary?
Wow.
Yeah,
They're quick.
we're burning through the agenda tonight.
Thank you, Dave. We seem to survive the last storm okay. It's, obviously, I think Sarah's correct. We're going to have some discussions about communications and how we can kind of improve. I think it's important to know that a lot of these things were in place. We just maybe didn't do a great job of letting some people know about that. I think that's to do with to discuss our channels and how that's going to work kind of moving forward. I asked the chief, actually, if you could say a couple words tonight about the aftermath of the school shooting and the letter and everything else. We've got some inquiries about how SRS was, how we were prepared for that and everything else. And I'm more than satisfied that we're prepared, but I know the chief can kind of say a couple words. And,
Needless to say, it's isn't a topic that I'm real happy to address, but the whole active shooter thing has been evolving since Columbine. The specific tactics that we use, we're kind of reluctant to discuss openly, but I can tell you that the current thinking is to address the problem immediately. One of the hardest things in this whole procedure is for a police officer addressing the situation to step over people who are injured when their instincts are ready, to provide help if their priorities to stop the threat. I will tell you that I checked with Sergeant Stufflet, our training officer, and we have 4 officers scheduled to go to active shooter training in the next 2 months. 2 are going to Upper Providence for the training and 2 are going to Darby. So, I mean, it's an issue that's on everybody's mind. We go to the range twice a year, and this is actively discussed there. We do moving shooting drills, and part of the training that's coming up, and as part of addressing the situation, is self-administered first aid. The officers now have tourniquets that they carry as part of their standard equipment, and they are taught how to self-administer in the event that they're injured in a situation like this. So it's an ongoing thing. Everybody's paying attention. I was scheduled to meet with SRS last Wednesday. I think it was about this. They didn't really give me an agenda, but they canceled school, so that went down to Tuesday. I know Chief Splain and other province has been actively talking to the schools over there, and the 2 of us are working together. So we're doing the best we can, and just to make it more solemn than it needs to be. I had a discussion with the mayor today. Every plan is perfect until the first shot's fired. And then, it goes from there. We just pray that we never have to address it. If you have any specific questions, I'll be happy to.
No, thanks, Chief. Appreciate that.
The last is another plug for the town cleanup day, which is scheduled for Sunday, Earth Day, the 22nd. It'll be an afternoon, sort of like 1 to 4, and there's creating different jobs in different places for people to actually work and come volunteer. There's also plans for a party afterwards in the amphitheater. So it should be a good town event. I think something we can get on our calendar all the time. Source of civic pride for all of us.
Jim, is it the whole borough? Is it cleanup of the borough?
Well, it's centered in town center, but it depends on how many volunteers we get. Obviously, we
Okay.
want to start there. But to say that there are obviously other places in the borough that could use some cleanup up here as well. So a lot of it's going to depend on, I know Anita's working on like a sign-up way of kind of getting people registered for it and sort of so we can start to assign jobs and figure out what can be done. We want to make the most of it.
Yeah. Because like churches and different groups could organize that way, could pick up bags, and it is Earth Day. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of people are thinking like that anyway. So
there is an organization, it's actually a national organization, but the state, there's a Clean Up America kind of thing. And Pennsylvania's month is kind of, seems to be around April, but they're providing trash bags and gloves and things like that, and also would even arrange for garbage pickup, for extra pickup if we need it. So it's good.
Great. Thanks, Tim. Bob, do you have any?
I do not.
Okay. Jane?
We are continuing to clean up from the storm. Like most municipalities, we are availing ourselves of the county's offer to keep they have a composting station that's usually only open on Wednesdays. And they opened it on Monday of last week, and I think are going to keep it open for this week as well. So we've just been sort of going around town. People left piles at the curb, some of which are, we did have a regular yard waste pickup on Tuesday, but they can't get those really big branches because it's a compacting truck and it breaks their blade. So we can take bigger ones, and the county has allowed us a little bit of leeway. So the crew will be going around. They're really glad it didn't snow today. So they were able to take the salt off the trucks, because it's, of course, the same trucks. And they're going around, and if people have left stuff at the curb. And we did put that on the website today. We do have a fair number of street trees that came down. Some people have cleaned them up themselves. Again, we're going around cleaning up other ones. We will try and make contact with those property owners and let them know that if the tree needs to come down, they can use our usual program where the borough pays for 40% and they pay for 60% of the removal cost. And then they plant a replacement tree, because otherwise we're going to be pretty devastated with lack of street tree canopy. And people can take them down themselves if they want to, but usually we have a better deal from the borough, and most people will utilize that. We have not done a count yet. It's not small, though. I think it's probably closer to 24 than a dozen, but we will go around and take an inventory of that. I put a little notice out today that we do have a couple ways that we do let people know. I did look today, we've had a whopping 255 people sign up for the Notify Me that we use on the borough website, which is tiny. And then the Delco alert system, which the chief uses quite often to send out notices. I don't know how many people from Swarthmore have signed up for that. But we pushed a little bit more to get that out on social media. So I think that will be helpful. And then I look forward to discussing some other things. I did look at other municipalities' Facebook pages, and I think they're pretty instructive. I think if you look at them, the developing of a policy will seem not so complicated. It's pretty clear what they're putting on and what they're not. I don't think it will be a big, I don't know who's doing the Facebook pages, but I think that they're probably more limited than people would think, and yet exactly what people are looking for in this instance. So I encourage you to look. Just pick a municipality on Facebook and start to look. I did Media, Middletown, and I don't remember, another province. Another province actually has one page of their own and two sort of rogue pages, all of which were very interesting. So that's all I have.
Great. Thanks, Jane.
Wait, I'm sorry, can I ask a question about the cleanup? The trucks coming on?
Yeah.
Are there any specific days they're coming, or they're just like?
They're just going to keep going all week, yeah.
So all week long they'll be coming to get those bigger items, or just any?
Right, anything, and if they can't get it, if they leave it, we figure people will call us, and they will only leave ones that are so big that they're going to have to call a tree service. And that's also in our notice that we put out today, that if it's, people have huge trunks there, and there's neither the borough crew or the trash crew that picks up the yard waste can handle those. So we'll just keep working. We have not gotten a ton of calls about what to do, so I think people are pretty much handling it. We did it, and we have big trees here now.
Thank you, Jane. Any other questions for Jane? Any other business to conduct tonight in open session? If not, then I'm going to call.
Sorry, I just want to remind everybody that I know we talked about it last time, but the Senior Wellness Fair from the Swarthmore Senior Citizens Association is going to be on Saturday, March 24th from 9:30 to 3 at the Inn. And they have a whole big program going on, so if you can get a chance to make it, we would do that.
Thanks, Sarah. I'm going to call an executive session to discuss a contract and a personnel matter, and also to seek some legal advice from our solicitor. Thank you. I guess to formalize it, I'd like to have a motion to go into executive session.
I was going to say,
Yeah, and a second about.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.